Welcome to the Leading Visionaries podcast, featuring stellar conversations with emerging and established leading visionaries. Thanks for joining us today as we celebrate and spotlight the leading visionaries who are thinking differently, seeing new possibilities, have the courage to dream big, take inspired action, and create conscious change all around the world. Now, here's your host, Anjel B. Hartwell.
Well, hello again. It's Anjel B. Hartwell and Leading Visionaries podcast. And today is another Minisode. Thank you so much to all of you who are downloading, rating, reviewing. We are so grateful for your support for the show. Please remember to share with circles of influence that you have that may benefit from our content. We'd love that for you to be like a little bee spreading the pollen and cross-pollinating. Today, I want to talk about one of the most important things when we have a vision, especially when it's a very big vision that we cannot do by ourselves, and also a very big vision that we probably don't have sufficient capital resources to fund. And then we need to go out and start fundraising. We need to go out into the world to talk to people who have more resources than we have and raise funds, do a capital raise. And I want to talk about a colleague of mine that I've been working with for a while. And one of the things that we've been working on is his ability to what we're going to call depersonalize capitalization, to depersonalize capitalization, and why it's so important to practice what there's a shamanic author, best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author, Don Miguel Ruiz, he calls the 4 agreements. And one of the 4 agreements is take nothing personally. So when we are out raising funds, when we are out asking for money, when we are out pitching to investors, we're going to make a lot of mistakes, especially if it's something that's never been done before. If our vision is something that's never been done before, for sure. If pitching for fundraising, capital raises, is something we've never done before, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. And the most important thing we want to actually remember is that the resource is the relationship with whoever it is that you're having this conversation with. The resource is less about the money than it is about the relationship. And so what do I mean by that? Well, first, you have identified this person as someone who may be interested in what your vision is. You have identified this person as somebody who potentially has resources, that is an investor, is somebody who is actively engaged in the process of funding visionaries. And that person is likely to also have relationships that you know nothing about, or wisdom that you know nothing about, that could come in incredibly handy to the bringing forth of your vision, either in the present moment or further down the road. And so the work is about showing up in this conversation with clarity of intent. Obviously, you want to have clarity of intent, clarity to the best of your ability of what the vision is, clarity to the best of your ability to what the capital requirements are. And again, when we're dealing with vision, we don't have necessarily the answers to all of these things. And clarity that you are a visionary and you are the one that has the vision. And in that clarity that you're the visionary and you're the one that has the vision and you're the one that is here on the planet to bring this vision into reality, in that is certainty. We want to come to these conversations with certainty about what your role is. Your role is the receiver of the vision, the communicator of the vision, and the enroller of other people into supporting the vision, into coming into reality. And a huge vision is going to require many, many, many relational fields and interconnections in places and spaces you don't even know yet. You have no idea. You have really no idea what another person can offer you when all you're focused on is, this is a person who has money. Great. That's good to know. Good data. And when you're focused on, I need to get money right now, right? So, and when you're focused on, if I don't perform properly in this moment, I will be a failure and I will not get what I want. And so, in the case of this person that I'm talking about, one of the things that I pointed out to him as we've been talking about this vision that he's out in the world talking to people about, one of the things I said to him was, don't take this personally. Don't take this personally at all. Like, this is not about your performance. It is not about you producing income or capital in this instant. This is really about you showing up, claiming your vision, claiming your role as the leading visionary, claiming the requirements that this vision is going to require in order to get materialized, and starting to weave these webs of relationship in ways that allow for the unexpected, that allow for the fostering of relationship and the relational field with this person who is absolutely 100% likely to have way more than money that they bring to the table, way more than money that they bring to the table. So what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to invite you, because we're here on Think About It Thursday, I'd like to invite you to start feeling into for yourself the times that you have asked for support in the past. And it doesn't have to be for the fulfillment of a vision. It could be, for some other thing that has nothing to do with business or visions coming into reality, but you had a request. You had a request and you made that request and it was rejected. That request was refused. It was rejected. And I want you to take a moment to really feel in to whether or not there is still upset about that experience. There's still, if there was any way that you took it personally, that there was a refusal or a rejection of your request. And take the time to start to do this deep work of, I call it the archeological dig into your own psyche. Because even if you feel like you've done all the work, if you're going into these conversations and you get triggered in these conversations around an old experience that you had, maybe as a child, maybe as a young adult, maybe in interrelationship with somebody of the opposite sex, if you got rejected in a dating circumstance, or the same sex, if you're same gender loving, that any chinks, we'll call them chinks in the armor, right? Any chinks that you have, any affinities that you have for getting triggered are going to this kind of situation where you're sharing, like vulnerably sharing this as yet to be brought into reality vision, right? It's like peeking into the wound, it's like giving somebody the ability to look inside the womb of your creation right now. So it's super vulnerable. And when you take it personally, if they reject you, or you have this unresolved, maybe some unresolved trauma around a previous rejection, it's going to have a ripple effect, and it's going to have a deleterious effect on your ability to get up the next day and go out the next day and make the next ask. And so it's really important to depersonalize your capitalization efforts. Depersonalize your capitalization efforts. I know this is kind of woo, and it sounds like, it's something that, you might actually even need help with. And if that is the case, I will raise my hand right now as somebody who can help you to put the spotlight on, to illuminate these spaces and places where you may be unconsciously self-sabotaging yourself because you're showing up in these requests for capitalization from a place not only of vulnerability, but also a place of potential emotional triggering where that old unprocessed rejection is still alive in you, And at the end of the day, one of the things that I suggested to him to do was back off from making the financial ask. If you feel like you've got to go out there and get the money, that's actually going to be a challenging dynamic because you're in chase mode. And if you're in chase mode, just imagine that you're on the other side of somebody who's chasing, right? If you're on the other side of somebody who's chasing, what are you going to do? You're going to run away, right? You're going to run away. If you're on the other side of being pursued, you're going to run away. When we're bringing a gigantic, big, wacky vision into the world, and we are asking for significant amounts of capital, we are going to be in bed with these people for, short, long, mid, maybe for the entire process of the vision creation. And so you actually want to be starting from the ground of what's the most honoring and respectful way that we can enter into this conversation, and you still get the opportunity to make your ask. All right, I only have 30 seconds left for today, so that's going to be it for our Think About It Thursday. And I'd love to hear what you think about today's topic of depersonalizing capitalization. Be sure to send us your feedback, and we'd love to hear guest suggestions and so forth as well. You can do that by sending stuff into Leading Visionaries podcast, and you can go to the Leading Visionaries podcast site to find all the places where we can connect. Thanks again for listening, and I look forward to our next Think About It Thursday. This is Anjel. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in, downloading, and listening. Be sure to rate and review Leading Visionaries on Apple Podcasts and share with other people you know who can benefit from today's episode. Leading Visionaries is the premier podcast series for informing, activating, and inspiring the leading visionaries who are called to create conscious change and know that now is the best time to welcome wealth and cultivate a web of collaborative support to bring their vision to life. We invite your feedback and guest suggestions and invite you to subscribe to our mailing list to be notified of new episodes at leadingvisionariespodcast.com.